Ms. Ray asked that I contact the little Sputnik to work with you both on next steps.
Sputnik?
Is there something I should call you? Apart from Guardians, of course.
This is the Guardian. You can call them Guardian, thank you. I am called Ghost.
Pleasure to be working with you, Mr. Ghost. The Ionians are in less dire straits now, but if anything triggers the singularity, we risk losing the planetoid. Between a black hole on one side and the Archon on the other, the locals had no choice but to seal their settlement. They've been trying to track down that capsule you picked up for ages. Head to the big mechanism at the center of the village. The Ionians call it the Altar of Relativity.
Guardian, the trail we followed here to this planetoid is the strongest through that mechanism.
The singularity must be beyond there. Contained thanks to the Ionians. If Drifter's right, the source of our invitation and the source of the singularity are one and the same. I think the Nine are here. Keep this to yourselves for the moment. Our top priority is stabilizing this planetoid, unless the Nine plan to interfere. They're not a concern.
Lodi, we're at the altar.
Mr. Ghost, this is Lodi. Excellent. Go ahead and drink the contents.
Drink?
No, that can't be right. You do not want to do that. Just say again, do not drink the dark matter in that container. Pour the contents into the mechanism. Hold on, I was provided a diagram. I am so sorry. Ionian verbs change based on the size and shape of the container. I'm still getting a hang of the beverage cutoff. It seems to be somewhere around 2 liters. Anyways, the canister contents need to get poured into the mechanism, and all you need to do is drop it in. Guardian, Mr. Ghost, allow me to introduce you to Dean Rebecca, leader of the Ionians.
Dean Rebecca. I've never heard the name Dean. It's beautiful.
Well, the Ionians use this sort of academic hierarchy from what I can tell. And wait, you've never heard the title Dean before?
No. Is it an Ionian name?
No, they use it as a mark of high status here. Oh, and so you know, they haven't seen other humans in centuries. Be patient with them. Our presence here is tremendously significant. Translating what I can, the Dean's honored to encounter the first new humans in centuries. She says the Ionians' deity, the thing they call the Holy Anomaly, is on the other side of the altar, threatened by the Singularity. The capsule we put into the altar stabilizes rings of the lock to keep the Singularity contained. It's a collection of dark matter she called a Strangelet. You'll need to get through the lock if you want to find out what's on the other side. We'll need your muscle, Guardian.
So Lodi, tell me more about how you got here. The more we know, the better chance we can find a solution.
All I know is I woke up here 4 weeks ago in a singed suit. I don't remember how I got here. I know I'm from Earth, I remember my family, but not much else.
That sounds like how a light bearer would wake up, but you don't have a ghost.
No, I'm alive. You probably know more about this place than I do. But I do remember hearing Guardians have a complicated relationship with memory. Is there any truth to that?
That's a fairly common question. Guardians forget who we were before our first resurrection. We forget in exchange for the light.
Shame. Feels cruel.
Drifter, you brought them my message, capsized. Find my frequency. I'm not Neon.
No way. Orin. Neon. Orin, what happened to you? I thought you were locked in as the Nine's errand runner. You were gone.
Yes, but my memory is a mess. It's all vetiver. Oh, damn it. Rig transponder. You can pinpoint my location.
The hell, Orin? Why do you sound like you ate a dream journal?
Patrical. Damn it. I am not adjusting to linear time well. I am no longer emissary. I quit.
You quit? Thought you'd ascended or something. Become a higher being. I didn't know you could quit being emissary.
Me either. But with the right motivation, anything is Starlight. You'd be proud. I'm molted.
Oh, I have to know what you mean by molted.
Exactly what it sounds like. I wanted my body back. I wanted my will back.
She only just found shoes, for Pete's sake. Got your location, Orin. Never thought I'd hear from you again.
Scrambled eggs. I meant to deliver a message, but can't remember what it is. I know the Nine will need a replacement emissary. They will not find one nearby on the X-axis. They will need to search a millennia up and down the Y.
My message found you. I'm Orin, once a Guardian, like you. When I last reached out to the Vanguard, I warned you of the Nine's fallibility. The results of that fallibility are in play now, I think. You will fix it. But how isn't clear. Everything I knew is scattered. My will, cleaved from service and rough-hewn clay. It wasn't bloodless. But I know I chose this for a reason. I did. In my memory, when I touch my hand to the moment, I am overcome with dissonance, and another shape, buried in noise, assuming my place. I must speak sharpness to the Drifter. A tint on knowledge held, but still unknown. I'll need your help hunting down the fate that brought us here.
So, Orin, you quit and now you're just here?
Mitosis. Annoying you had to see me like this now. Scrambled eggs and someone else's shoes. How have you been?
Oh, busy. Feet planted on the ground more often than not. Seeing someone new these days.
Oh, good. Good for you. Can't say the same. I've been too busy corralling my electrons. Who are you seeing?
It's, Eris Morn.
You have a type, Drifter. I'm happy for you both. Really.
I hear you had a run-in with that Archon fellow. Or his cutouts, anyway. Apparently he's the leader of these exiled Eliksni, but nobody's seen him in a long time. Real recluse. The Ionians say he can speak through the mouths of his followers. Like some kind of psychic thing. But that's absurd, right? Have you seen this little ventriloquist act? Huh. Well, I'll believe it when I see it myself. I suggest you do a little bang and burn to draw out their leadership. Once we know exactly who we're dealing with, we can do a more realistic threat assessment. I haven't been very deep into the Exiles Accord. They aren't fond of visitors. This architecture seems a little out of the box.
We've dealt with the Eliksni houses before, but this does feel different.
Lodi, I need to be frank. I don't buy your story.
Yeah. Well, you don't know the half of it. If I wasn't me, I also wouldn't buy my story.
What do you know about whatever brought you here?
Nothing. I woke up here in a singed suit after the most insane fall of my life. It seems the local Eliksni had developed a parallel form of teleportation. They're using dark matter to create portals. If we want to infiltrate their sphere of influence, we'll need that capability. Mr. Drifter says you've got the skills for a smash and grab, so I suggest we go loud. Get us a sample of that tech and we'll be in business.
This must be the House of Exile's new teleportation tech. It's mounted in an old cannon frame. That's handy. Scans show the power cell and space inverter have been tampered with. Those mechanisms have dark matter cores. They'll wear out fast. It looks like this mobile unit creates an entangled link between a jump pad and wherever you're aiming. Just be careful what you point it at.
Good work out there. You've got some real moves. Normally, agents that skilled at wet work have checkered pasts. Makes me wonder how you came to be so dangerous. With expanded access, we can investigate those Elixni in earnest, and find the truth about this so-called Archon. I've got some ideas on that. Catch up with me later to get started.
Guardian, you've got an incoming call.
Before the Giver was found to exiles, the long drift eroded our spirit of eons. Our catch was poisoned by ether hunger and treachery. But just when exiles were near our house, death, the Giver's gravity reach led us to its dark matter. And inside, discovery of the voice invisible. Words of mind alone. The power to speak as one. And in Giver's reach, we also found Ionians. For many lives, we shared discovery. The ways of dark matter open to all. Integration and ether life for our house. Then came the Deathless Warriors. From beyond the Giver's orbit, strong, impressive, with power beyond stars. The exiles shared no hatred with you. We want only the gifts of the Giver. But if the Deathless steal dark matter from our house, they will be met with blades. All will perish who take what is freely given.
Guardian, I've made myself a contact within the Elixni ranks. Apparently not everyone is happy with the way things are being run.
You little sleuth.
That's the idea. Anyway, there's apparently a power station nearby feeding a lot of juice into something off-site.
Got it. I'm reading high levels of arc energy.
It's mixing with signatures matching the singularity.
All right, Guardian, this has to be the house's power plant. There's a massive current moving through the cables around us. And gravitons.
My informant Keels tells me that power is going straight into a warship.
If we can get to a power plant's controls while it's charging their ship, we can send a lethal surge to it from here before it ever leaves port.
Crafty. And it'll buy time to hunt down the Strangelet capsule in the Accord. If we stop the singularity from expanding, stabilize Kepler, maybe they'll stand down.
Yeah, fat chance we talk a psycho like that off a ledge. He's a true believer in whatever psychos believe in.
They aren't leaving us many options. We need to reach the anomaly.
Deathless, why have you come? Glimpses are seen of your actions, but your motive ever shrouded. When my house found Saul, saw the great machine with your world, we left in defeated peace.
It looks like this station is actually drawing some form of power from these native cyto colonies. So, exiles are generated?
The Deathless was foretold. See how they must kill as prophesied? Kiver Sight warned me of this final test. I'll be resilient, my house.
Guardian, patch me into a console and I can override that barrier.
Look alive, hero. They're piping in splinter mines. Crazy sons of crabs are gonna cause a damn cave-in.
You're on bomb defusal, Guardian.
Lavast sure likes to talk. He's making a show of us barging into his house. Maybe we pull his moxie out from under him and he lets some intel slip.
Unless he sees that coming. All this prophecy talk. Back in my day, you'd kill a fella fair without knowing the future.
You think he's really clairvoyant? Okay, Guardian, we need to find a way to overload that control panel.
Once we do, the immense surge of current will wreak havoc on whatever warship the house is trying to power up.
Probably why they tried to blow us up. I guess they're trying to unplug. We should hustle up.
Like vile Vex, the Deathless is violence-driven. They cannot be turned away by reasoned words. Only blood.
Mighty Archon, we hear your prophecy. The Deathless kneels before the Giver with your blessing. Just open the way.
Will what now?
This was not our tricks. You conspire with metal invaders to keep us from the Giver. To trap our house into folly. Exiles with it, their death is fated to be reborn.
What's your next plan? Stand there with the guns pointed at each other until someone gets cold feet?
So the Archon didn't take the bait, but he mentioned being kept from the Giver. Sounds like, despite their push to the Singularity, something's still cutting them off from it. That means we don't have to rush right in unless they make a move. Maybe there's somewhere else we can apply pressure.
You're a kid. Those things been shooting at you since you landed on this dump, and you still haven't pulled your piece.
That's right. Unlike you, I don't prefer a gun to solve my problems when questions work just as well.
Enough! We may have knocked out their power, but the Archon's still out there. We'll need to be ready when they make their next move.
You sure your informant ain't running us around in circles, Square?
Kiosk is risking a lot just to speak with me. And I vetted them, of course.
Yeah, you're probably right. All those ones that tried to kill us are just bad apples.
People aren't all one way or another. That's what makes this interesting.
I've been talking to that Drifter fellow. Not a name I'd self-apply, but I like him. He understands what it's like to be stranded far from home. Anyway, he was telling me about these aliens who are giving the Ionians such a hard time, the Elixni. Apparently, they normally live on something called ether. Huh. Seems like you already have some experience with it. Interesting. The locals say these Elixni augment their supply with dark matter. Who knows what physiological effects that's having. Might be the reason they're so hostile. I suggest you assess their production lines. If we learn how the dark matter is affecting them, it might give us some leverage.
Team, I've got some intel from my informant.
Informant? Well, well. First it's a contact, then it's an informant. They're taking a liking to you.
Maybe a way to help the house calm down and see straight again. I'm sending coordinates, but keep on that heading.
Lodi, Drifter, checking in. How goes your recon on the House of Exile?
The Guardian's handling the situation well, but Miss Ray, to be honest, I don't like this. There has to be a way to de-escalate the situation.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I've been watching the house from the derelict, and they are one ruthless group.
Do they appear to be in league with the Conductor? That would tell us something at least.
Not sure who that is. I have to believe this Archon is a lone actor. Mr. Ghost, you should be nearing a refinery or some kind of drilling operation. Coordinates incoming. I think this is where they're processing their ether. Maybe we can disable their machinery until the Ionians can correct the process.
Okay, I see it from up here. Derelict scanners are picking up all sorts of weird gravity fluctuations, and a whole heck of a lot of exiles.
Orin says these trains are like quantum-entangled objects, held in superposition across the fourth dimension.
Yeah, Orin says a lot of things no one understands.
We're through. Now to disable the Exile's dark matter refinery.
I wish it was as simple as talking to them. Last time I tried, I got shot at. And it wasn't my Elixni accent.
They get real touchy sometimes. Sensitive little crustaceans.
Crustaceans. Interesting. Well, I think their diet is causing the issue. Like drinking from lead pipes, cut off the supply and their heads might clear up.
Guardian, I'm reading some highly charged energy through one of these pipelines. Lodi, did the Ionians ever explain why they stopped working with the House of Exile? From what I gather, it didn't end well.
I got to talking with one of the old pilots who gabbed on the subject a bit. Ionians tried to synthesize ether for the house.
Why? It's not a simple job. Leave it to those servitor garbage disposals. Matter goes in, ether comes out. Easy.
Except here, everything's imprinted with dark matter, which they apparently want to extract for a pure conversion to ether. The Ionians say it shouldn't be harmful, but the singularity seems to make it toxic to the Elixni.
enemy. Exile is our teacher, our home. Our rifles are many. Our will is anointed by the Giver.
That's strange. It doesn't have enough juice to charge the relay. Maybe we can overcharge the cannon somehow. Guardian, it's supercharging the cannon. This is the house's central refinery. My scans are going a little haywire, but that can't be right. These pipes are operating at alarming pressures.
Let me fill you in on a little secret. None of House Exile's gear has safety regulators. My kind of people.
Hey team, I've seen those little flying bots play hot potato delivering dark matter down to your proximity.
I have an idea. Guardian, a concentration of dense matter could send the whole system over the edge. Let's look for those shanks. I think we can fit under the grate, with the pipeline. You were right, though. This scans like dark matter, wrapped around an artificial gravity well.
Sounds like the type of thing that'd make a nice loud rattle inside some heavy machinery, don't it, hero? Oh, don't worry if it doesn't fit. Just jam it in there.
Pressure's increasing, but the pipes are still holding. We need more.
Incoming exiles. Crack your knuckles and rack your slides.
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but they seem intent on a fight. Their leader doesn't sound like he's crazed or confused. He has an agenda and a voice to wield it.
Seen a lot of those types in my time.
Maybe we could still reason with him.
Barely holding together. One more, Guardian.
Entomb the deathless! Protect our ascension!
Well now, that went, great.
It did. We learned the house centers around this giver. Watch your flank, Guardian.
You feed their greed. Speak their human lies. Ionians want us truth blind. To keep the anomaly's sight from Elixni eyes. Our voice is a raised spear, arc and sparking. See it against the black space sea. Our banner. We suffer. All suffer.
I came here thinking these Elixni were poisoned, needed help. But this... like a bunch of holy rollers.
More exiles between you and the exit.
This Archon has a stranglehold on his people. They're gonna follow him right into the grave.
I am seeing your doom. Your fall. Spread across many visions, many possibilities. Only one must strike true.
That pilot I spoke to, he mentioned the Archon, Lavask, wasn't always the leader of the house. But one day he starts getting visions, next he gets a taste for politics.
A gift from his giver.
The giver and the singularity sound like synonyms, but I can't see how a black hole gives anyone anything.
Given what we know, my hypothesis is that the source of the Holy Singularity, as the Ionians call it, and the Exile's giver are one and the same.
Ikora, the Nine invited us here. It was 3. The thought just... it's like it unlocked in my head.
The Nine. 3. They didn't just bring us here to deal with the Archon. The Nine are extra-dimensional beings. They're connected to the celestial bodies of our solar system.
What does the planet care about a single Elixir? Either way, we need to neutralize the threat he poses to the Ionians. I've seen leaders like Levesque before. He doesn't want a war. He just can't look weak in front of his people. Guardian, I spoke with my informant again. That ship we cut the power to, the Archon's on it. We stopped it from being operational, but he's determined to get it airborne. In between giving intel, he mentioned there have been Elixni on Earth for centuries.
Wouldn't be the first ketch you've stormed, Hero, or the first house you've toppled.
I don't have the ship's location, but I might have something just as good. Goes by the name Prime Servitor, and they're holding the Strangelet we need. They're clearly very upset, and I don't blame them. Abduction is terrifying. I still haven't been able to suss out why talks with the Exiles went south. Maybe these are poor circumstances for negotiation.
The readings on Kepler are still spiking. The Singularity is still a threat. We'll need the Ionians' help if we want to open that lock.
That's just as many researchers as the Emeritus said there would be. Didn't lose anyone. That's a relief.
This settlement is obviously well established, over decades if not centuries, but I see little in the way of weapon emplacements or true fortifications. Has there been no conflict all that time?
That's the gist I'm getting. The Vex are new, and the Elixni, well, they used to have a working trade relationship. Armed conflict is new for the locals. You got my favorite thank you! Nice work, Guardian. You reunited the Ionians with their loved ones.
The scale of this problem concerns me. Our forces aren't so robust as to defend this whole settlement indefinitely, and defense is fruitless if we can't stabilize the Singularity. We just discovered a lost colony. This discovery changes how we see our own system. How many others are out there?
Guardian, someone's on the line.
You've made great strides in communicating with the Ionians. We've learned their language has multiple origins. Little wonder it needs such effort. Understanding comes not a moment too soon. Between the Elixni and the Vex, the situation here is unstable. And we have so much to learn from them. I followed your example in translating. Script first, then words. These notes you recovered, unbelievable. The advances this outlines in gravitational manipulation, without the light. And that's only one thesis. I hope some of them at least will be amenable to returning to Earth. We cannot lose this connection. We simply can't.
The destructive activity in the agricultural zone is reading as Vex. They're the ones attacking the food supply.
Stop me if this one is obvious, but do Vex need to eat?
Not in any fashion we'd recognize.
Sounds like an empty life. Then this is just sabotage against the Ionians.
As if they weren't facing enough. The Nine, the Vex, and a Singularity ripping the planet apart. That's too obvious a coincidence to ignore.
The Nine what?
Simply the Nine. They exist outside of time as far as we understand it. Difficult to confirm on the best of days.
Vex looks like it's protecting something. Guardian, watch out.
Vex tended to just let me pass on by before you showed up.
Excuse me? The Vex ignored you.
Guess they didn't see me as a threat. What can I say? I have a friendly face.
Lodi, how are you so adept with the Ionians' language? You said you've been here a few weeks, at best.
Oh, I was made for this. I'm a translator. I especially love languages I've never heard before.
There's the Vex. Guardian, we should take a scan of that drive. See if there's any data stuck offline the Ionians need.
It's incredible. Terms I recognize mapped to advanced concepts, prefixes and suffixes as used in agricultural science. We can use this. Let me do some analyzing, but this is a huge missing piece to understanding the Ionians.
Under the circumstances, what keeps the Ionians here? We could begin evacuation proceedings. They would be safe back on Earth.
But they wouldn't be home. They could take a piece of Kepler with them, sure, but it's not the same.
Homes can be replaced, but lives can't.
The Ionians might feel differently about that. This place is sacred to them. The universe determined they belong here. Singularity or not, we can't tell people to pack up and leave yet. Not without helping people who've been stranded from the rest of humanity.
Agreed. No one's leaving until we learn more. Lodi, those Vex. You need to know who controls them. Her name is Maya, the Conductor. She was human once.
What's her objective?
On the surface, to return our current time to a more prosperous one. But her true motive is to reunite with her spouse.
Neither of those sound particularly sinister, but I take it it's what she's willing to do to achieve that goal.
Maya has an ability. She can control whoever she pleases. She's commanding the Vex, a normally leaderless faction, and she's even taken hold of our allies to turn them against us. If she's here, she can do anything to get what she wants.
I know. The exiles have gotten into the, progenitor ship.
It's the remnants of the colony ship they arrived in. Any vibrational disruption could dislodge the lock and speed the Singularity's growth.
We better move fast. Someone once told me that a shuttle quarter that size can go up like a bomb.